journalism and why you think it's important?
Well, I mean, the reason why campaigning journalism is important is because what it does is it automatically in existence accepts that there are problems in the world that need attention. And that is obviously a very simple statement, but in effect, injustices, social issues affect everyone, including journalists. And for journalists who have a responsibility to expose wrongdoing, checking journalism, checking power, investigating issues, exposing injustices, etc. This kind of campaigning journalism facilitates that in a stronger way. I mean, basically, most of the world accepts that human rights, and for example, the Universal Declaration on Human Rights, is a good basis for looking at the world in terms of what's right and wrong. Well, I mean, there are millions of things which go against that protocol, and so as journalists, we have to be trying to expose those and campaign against breaches of people's rights. And so this genre of journalism facilitates that, and I think that that should be a major focus for us.
And do you think traditional journalism needs to move that way?
I think that people are increasingly aware, certainly in the last decade, and more particularly in the last couple of years, that journalism always serves a purpose of some sort. And so if it's not serving people's rights and people's lives, particularly ordinary people in, for example, the UK, then who is it actually serving? And I think people are increasingly critically aware and discerning and able to see, well, what is the objective of this journalist by covering this story and choosing this language and this interviewing and etc. So actually, I think that people definitely want to see that. And people are not stupid. They can discern why a story has been covered. They can contextualize it to an extent themselves automatically. I mean, over time, for example, the British population gets more and more intelligent. People are able to deal with more complex ideas and information. So we mustn't patronize the general public, and we must show them complex and sophisticated stories and ideas.
No? Okay. Oh, what's the most important bit of journalism that you've done, do you think?
I think one of the most important was interviewing one of the terrorist leaders. I mean, that's what the West calls the guy, Dr. Khaled al-Bach, who is the leader of the Islamic Jihad movement, which to the average Western citizen sounds something which is really scary. Actually, it's not scary when you go and interview this guy. He's just basically a normal looking guy. I mean, he's not wearing like a balaclava or something like this. And so this was really important for me because even interviewing that kind of person goes against the grain, and it sends a statement that, me, Harry Fear, is going to pay attention to things which attention is usually not given to, people who are beyond the pale, etc. So for me that was an accomplishment actually, and it's something I'm proud of, and what he said, and therefore the attention given to what he said, I think is really important, because most people are aware of what terrorism means, etc. You have to pay attention to both sides of a story, otherwise basically the conflict will go on forever.
And do you find it difficult to get sort of campaign journalism broadcast or out there?
Yes, is the short answer, but only broadcast in a mainstream sense. But as you said, these days people are automatically looking for other stuff, and they're not necessarily looking in the traditional platform. So in this case, it's not a problem. So my audience is generally not on TV. It's people maybe who have discovered me through the odd interview or report I've made for TV, and then they look at my stuff off those platforms on the internet, and etc. And for me, this is I have total freedom and editorial control, and so this is like paradise for a journalist. So this is great.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cheers.